Let's get it started in here. Oh, we got a couple more days, more than a couple more days. We have Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Good morning, Blackbird. Good morning, youngster. What's up, Blackbird? How are you doing, my friend? Good morning to you. Hung Dave says, Tim, just wanted to say the Carl Banks interview was one of the best interviews I've seen in a while. And with that being said, when is the John Gruden interview happening? It's funny that you bring that up. Not saying it's going to happen, not saying it is happening, but it's just funny that you brought that up. I'm going to leave it at that. Robert says, good morning, Tim and everyone. 4 more days until we get to see a team in action. Mark Stewart coming. Big salute, Tim. What's going on, Mark? Oh, hit the like button on your way in. Blackbird says, I'm doing well. I just finished eating breakfast. Breakfast. Yeah, I've had breakfast. I had breakfast like at 5 o'clock this morning. And I'm ready for lunch. The Buffalo game. Brian Daboll has come out and said that that he is potentially going to the starters are going to play in the Buffalo game. Well, no shit, Sherlock. They better play in the Buffalo game because we need to see this new offense. And to me, it's not even a new offense. It's the same offense. More likely, it's just different pieces in reference to the quarterback situation and a few sprinklings here and there. The offense really has not, outside of Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart, which is the most important position on the team. The offense really hasn't changed. You went out and got Bo. You went out and get Scattaboo, and we don't know what Scattaboo is yet. You're hoping that Tyrone Tracy does not take a step back in year 2. We see the rainbow balls with Malik Neighbors and others, and that's wonderful and all. But we're not even really seeing these in full speed practices yet, because what I've seen with the pads going on the last 2 times with the pads, it's not even full contact. So we're going to get a better understanding, I think, in the Buffalo game, and then again August 13th. At the scrimmage at the Jet Giant joint practice. So we're going to be at that once you got to make sure that you stay tuned for that. But we have to take a look at this offense. We got to take a look at what this offense can be structurally. And with Cam Scattaboo going down with the hamstring listed at, they're listening about day to day. The Giants have picked up another running back. Are going to pick up another running back. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do and how they run this ball and exactly what's going on. Kevin says, what's going on? Peace. Tim, what's going on? Dan the man, you were missed on the Carl Banks interview. Blackbird says, how are you? I never thought Carl Banks would come on to your channel. What the hell are you talking about? Carl Banks comes on the channel all the time. Yeah, what are you talking about, man? Yeah, there you go. There's Carl Banks once again. Carl Banks is always on the channel. You know that, Blackbird. But Robert says the interview with Carl Banks is amazing. Now you need Papa to forgive you, and the circle will be complete. It's the circle of life. Listen, Bob Papa probably doesn't remember who the hell I am, which is probably to my advantage. That's like Carl Banks said something the other day on the show, and I was laughing because he says, "Well, someone said this," and then I was gonna do one of these. Yeah, that was me. But I didn't because we were getting along so well. But yeah, I don't even think Bob Papa probably does not even remember who the hell I am. So that's good. That's good. At least I hope he doesn't. Blackbird says, I thought Daboll did last year was playing the starters the whole first half. I hope he does the same this year. I don't remember Daboll playing the starters the whole first half last year. I don't. I remember them playing a series. I remember them not really seeing any action until week 2. The question is going to be, though, and this is the thing, you are going to run a vanilla offense with a few sprinklings of sprinkles on your Sunday on Saturday. Oh God, I missed the sound effects. we were being professional, so we took the sound effects out. But you're going to see that, and you're going to see, you might see a couple deep shots here and there. My goal in the preseason is maybe get the starters a series or 2 in week 1, another series or 2 in week 2, play Jackson Dart. I mean, after I would put Russell Wilson in for the first 2 series. I would then put Jameis Winston in for maybe a series or two. Then I'd play Jackson Dart the rest of the game. Screw Tommy DeVito. Not literally.
That's what she said.
But not literally on Tommy DeVito. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Because you're going to need to get Tommy DeVito. You're going to need to get Jackson Dart game reps. Plain and simple. He's going to have to get game reps. And the only way that he is going to gain any fluidity, Jackson Dart, that is if he plays consistently in the preseason. I would play him, Jackson Dart. I would play him. I would put him in the second quarter, play him to the end of the game. I would then put him again in the second quarter in week 2 against the Jets and play him the entire game. I would probably start him the entire game against the Patriots because there's nothing more beneficial than actual game reps. And especially in that last game, because you got a lot of guys in that last game that are vying for spots on the roster. So you're going to have some guys hitting, you're going to have some guys playing. But the only way I can see it would be if we could get them out there. Ryan, no internet. Ryan, no, I'm somehow able to pop on and say, "What's up, Tim? I need to see a black screen." No. What's up, Tim? But I just see a black screen. No, there's another week. We got you. We got you, Ryan. Ryan's on his cruise, so we missed the. That's of course Ryan's big podcast, of course, because he missed the. We didn't miss it. You were there. You didn't get to come on though for the Carl Banks interview. So Blackbird said, "I like Daboll." No, we saw that. Great show, says John T says, "Great show." Skyline, what's up? Hello, friends. Jason says, "Pretty sure Rutgers would beat the Giants." Well, the Rutgers had a pretty good. They're bringing a pretty good class. They had a pretty good, they did pretty well with recruiting class this year. So I can't say no. They're not better than Rutgers. Rutgers is not better than the Giants. But we really don't know what the Giants are. For all the things, what does Ryan say? Ryan's texting me now. Ryan said, let's see. Ryan said, the only thing I could do was message so you finish your live stream, fill me in on all things Giants. I'll do that for you, Ryan. But literally, we don't know what the Giants are yet. You see the highlights. I've been posting the shorts and videos of the highlights for the last 2 weeks. And some of the listen, Malik Neighbors is Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is making plays, he's making catches, he's doing what Malik Neighbors is supposed to do when we drafted him. He is getting the ball with anticipation. He is being placed in a position in regards to Russell Wilson on some of these throws and putting him in the right spot where he's the only one that can come up with the catch. He's being hit in stride. These are all things that we haven't seen for 6 years. 6 years. We didn't see this shit for 6 years. But that's what you're seeing in camp. And you're seeing some good young players as well. But you see Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter looks like he has that speed. But then again, we're showing highlights. There were plays, and I actually posted them, where he actually kind of got manhandled by Evan Neal. And that's not saying that Evan Neal is all of a sudden this great stalwart lineman. I'm just saying you get a manhandled by Evan Neal. Evan Neal's not a small man. That's the thing. So, but Abdul Carter's going to learn. I don't see him in the few times that we've seen him in the linebacking core. It's not the greatest outside of him rushing the passer. And that's not what you brought him in for, is to play linebacker. You brought him in for to rush the passer. And that's something that we hope that we see him do in this, hope that we see him do with a proficiency. And we're hoping that his presence opens up opportunities for Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns. But one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing in camp right now is there are gaping holes at times in the Shane Bowen zone. There are gaping holes. And I'm talking about gaping holes where guys are just parking their asses in the middle of this zone. Now, when you watch some of the man-to-man coverage, it's actually pretty good. Paulson Adebo, has had issues this camp. And he's been, and I love it because everyone says, well, he's up against Malik Neighbors, so you have to give him a break. No, I don't have to give him a break because he's up against Malik Neighbors. You're paying him like he is a top corner in the league. He should win some of these battles with Malik Neighbors just because of the fact that he is a top corner. You're paying him like he is a top cover corner in this league. Banks at times is still not turning his head. So he's going to get called for, if he doesn't start turning his head again, he's going to get called for quite a number of pass interference penalties. But he has not shown that progression yet. Holland is finally starting to make a name for himself, which is great. So Holland is finally turning that corner now. And hopefully he is going to be the Holland from 2 years ago, not last year. So there's so many things to look at with the defense. Blackbird says, same offense, just a different Russell Wilson fresh start. That's kind of the problem. That's kind of the thing. If you look at this, if you take a look at what the Giants did offensively, outside of Scatterboo and Bo, and everyone wants to talk about the 7th round tight end. That's great. I don't want to talk about the 7th round tight end because he's a 7th rounder and a tight end. So we have to kind of wait and see what he's going to do. Make sure you guys hit the like button. We have to kind of wait and see what he is going to do and what he is going to come up with. But the questions are going to be, can this offense listen? The Giants offense last year was putrid, second to the last in the league in points. Everyone talks about the fact that they couldn't get off the field. They couldn't get off the field. The defense was always gassed. Well, that's a lie. The Giants were tied for 16th in the league in time of possession. So while that's not in the top 10, you are still in the top half of the league in reference to time of possession that you had the football. The problem is this: when you are 16th in the league in time of possession and 31st in the league in points, just below, I can't remember if it was Cleveland or Carolina. That's a problem. You're not punching it into the end zone. And then when we lost Graham Gano and we had all those other issues, we just couldn't score.
That's what she said.
There we go. So we're going to have to do something differently with this red zone offense. Now, the thing is, I've watched, you've run red zone drills from the 5 and the 10, and sometimes a little further back in camp. The Giants at times have looked proficient, and at times they've looked confused. But again, this is training camp. You're learning. This is a learning process. You are learning these things, and you are making sure that you get through what you need to get through. I got to put up the media asset again. I'm sorry, I forgot. Because of course, this show, it's FanDuel. And we all know about FanDuel, guys, right? You want to do a bet? Right now, the Giants, if you want to take a look at it, are 2.5-point dogs to those venerable Bills. Jump on FanDuel. You know what? I got to admit, I'm a big FanDuel fan. Get it? FanDuel fan. I mean, FanDuel, you do everything. It's a casino. It's a sports book. It's literally everything that you can possibly think of. It's daily fantasy sports, online sports book. We all love FanDuel. Right now, go out there, take a look at FanDuel. Be responsible, of course, with your game. You must be 21 years or older. But I love it because I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I started really working with FanDuel that, they literally have everything. They're a little bit of everything. They're a sports book. They're a casino. They're fantasy. They're racing. You can do research on FanDuel. But right now, the New York Giants, if you're looking at it, are 2.5-point dogs to the Buffalo Bills in preseason. So hopefully that line's going to change, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. Daniel says, all the quarterbacks need reps. Offense is new to everyone. Why is DeVito even on the team? Because you need a camp arm. You need a camp arm. And you're not going to get rid of. Here's the thing. You want to hold on to your 4 quarterbacks till final cut down because you want to potentially make a trade. You're hoping that Jackson Dart is proficient enough that Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka feel comfortable trading Jameis Winston. Now, I know the Giants said they need to be blown away by an offer of Jameis Winston, but you come to the last week of camp, you break camp, and you got to make that final cut down, and you feel comfortable with Jackson Dart backing up Russell Wilson. You got to move Jameis Winston. You don't want to cut him. He's on a 2-year deal. You don't want to cut him because he is a nice. You're not going to get a world for him, but if you get a 6th or a 7th, he's a tradable asset. Jay Ferris says, play dart every second half against XFL scrubs so we can get a quarterback controversy. There's no quarterback controversy. Russell Wilson in camp is leaps and bounds above Jackson Dart. Jameis Winston had a couple really bad days at camp. And I go for the one bad day he had just recently. He actually stayed after. He stayed after everyone got sent away, and he was working on different things because I have never seen this on a 7-on-7 drill in all the years I went to camp. Jameis Winston on a 7-on-7 drill called a timeout. Timeout. It's a 7-on-7 drill. So, and then he just looked horrible that day, and they made him stay after, which is fine, which is what you want. But to your point, all the quarterbacks do need reps, but you traded up into the 25th pick for a guy that is supposed to be your future. The only way you can see that if he is your future is if you let him play, Daniel. So I don't care about Tommy DeVito because I don't think Tommy DeVito is going to be on the team. He's probably going to be on the practice squad. I don't really want to see Jameis Winston, and I don't want to put Russell Wilson in a position at 36 years old. He could potentially get hurt in the preseason. So I'm playing the prize rookie, getting him the reps because at the end of the day, and especially Jay Ferris said it best, play dart every second against XFL scrubs so we can get a quarterback controversy, except for the controversy person. Mr. Taz, Eagle fan, remember the Giant fans, Cowgirls are still owned by Jerry Jones, and the new owner for the Commies is still the same guy who runs the 76ers. Well, Mr. Taz, you have to trust the process. You got to trust the process, Mr. Taz. Just make sure you understand that. Hey, Charlie, what's up, Charlie? Hey, what's your concern level with Scott's injury? I don't have a concern level yet because we haven't even seen the first preseason game. If he's still nursing the hamstring going into week 3 against the Pats, the week 3 of the preseason against the Pats, and we're not getting positive updates, you're going to bring in additional running backs because of the fact that you need to. That's just the way it is. You need to bring in additional running backs. You have to because you need running backs in camp. That's like we talk about Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito is a camp arm. And Tommy DeVito will probably be on the practice squad. And like I said, if you can get a tradable asset in Jameis Winston, that's what you do. But my level of concern right now is not high until the Giants come out and say there's an issue, Charlie. Jay says, I am sick of these fans acting Jackson Dart is a skinny 19-year-old generational prospect that we need to protect. Put his ass out there. No, he's got to go out there. Jackson Dart has to go out there. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care. He should play 75% of the preseason snaps because one thing you do not want to do is get him game reps week 6 because Russell Wilson went down and Jameis Winston threw 5 picks. No, you want to get him comfortable with the offense. You want to get him comfortable with the play calling. You want to get him comfortable seeing NFL defenses and not what you see again in training camp is going to be extremely vanilla and concerning to what you're going to get in the regular season, but you got to get him the game reps. There is no better experience than actually playing. So let's just do it. Mr. Taz also said, can't wait for Tim to be drafted. The Giants 2026 from Rutgers, great liberal arts school of the South. Of course, that's Furman. Kevin says, I'm still worried about our interior offensive line. Yeah, our interior offensive line should be a pause for concern. Greg Van Roten looks like he's probably going to start in that right guard spot as of right now. Your center, you don't really have another true center on the roster outside of JMS. And I don't know what the thought process is for the Giants right now with JMS. I really don't know. Because I look at it and I'm like, okay, I've seen him play. I've been to camp like 6-7 times. I don't know how many times. But I've seen him play, and towards the last week in camp, he's looked better, but he's also looked horrendous. He's looked slow. He's being pushed around at times. he just at this point in time, going into year 3, he doesn't fully understand leverage, and he's a wrestler, which kind of surprises the hell out of me. And the fact that he grabs a lot. Everyone's grabbing. Nobody's tackling. But he grabs a lot. And he's lunging out of his stance. And the fact that there's not another true center on this team is concerning, especially if you're going to have a smaller interior line if you're not starting Evan Neal. Now, Evan Neal has looked good in camp at times, has looked very proficient on one-on-one drills. But when you put the pads on and we had contact, it's a little different story. Evan Neal is one of those guys, again, yeah, he 7th overall pick 3 years ago, but I would play Evan Neal 60% of the snaps in preseason. I don't care if I'm putting him in with the Home Depoters. I would play him because you gotta get, he is another guy you have to get game reps because there's going to be no experience better than playing. And you don't want to drop Evan Neal into this right guard position week 6 in the NFL season, because then things just will go horribly wrong. Dan the Man, it's FanDuel. You gotta love FanDuel. FanDuel, of course, and the Believe Network. Oh, just a way to go. Why did the Giants sign another running back? Hung Dave, for a very simple reason. You need camp bodies. Cam Scatterboo goes down. You need someone to replace him in camp. You need someone to give him his reps. You still got Turbo Miller. You're not going to sit there and run out Tyrone Tracy every single play. You need game reps. You need practice reps. And then you also need someone to carry the ball in the preseason. So even with the injury, I love this one. FanDuel is a playground for adults. I'm not going to say the last words, but I'm just going to leave it as it's what you call it. It's a playground for adults. But yeah, you need to have someone to run the ball in preseason. You need to have someone run the ball in camp. You are not going to sit there with Tyrone Tracy and Turbo Miller and everyone else and sit there and go, okay, because right now you also got to forget you have Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, and Eric Gray and Turbo Miller. You need another back. You need someone to take some of the load, because Tyrone's going to be your starter. Devin Singletary is going to move up into the RB2 position, and then either Eric Gray or how Eric Gray's on this team, I got no fucking clue. But Eric Gray and Turbo Miller are going to probably move into your 3-4 spot, and you need a fourth back. So that's all. Josh says New York Football Giants. Yeah, you gotta love the new. That just name resonates. It's the New York Football Giants. You gotta love that name. You gotta love how it resonates, how it sounds. Oh, we can't wait. We cannot wait for the Buffalo game. Gonna be shuffling off the Buffalo myself, but it's gonna be a long ass trip too. It's almost a 6-hour car ride and an 8-hour train ride. So I'm debating. There's a debate whether I sit on the train for 8 hours or I drive for 6 hours. I'm thinking train. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But what you want to see on Saturday is very simple with this 1:00 game. What you want to see is very simple. You want to see the starters for, like I said, you want to see the starters for 2 series. You're not going to give anything away with your offense for week 1, but I still want this. I still want to see the team take shots downfield, especially with this offensive line, because you want to see what you have. And the only way you're going to get to see what you have is if you're under fire. Now, I'm not saying do it to the detriment of getting your quarterback killed, but I'm saying you got to take a shot. Because if you don't, again, we don't want another cowboy ambush from a couple of years ago when we lost by 50 or 40 or whatever it was on that rainy Sunday day, Sunday evening when Queen Latifah sang the national anthem. We don't want that. No, we don't want that. We want to have it so we are proficient enough. That's what we want. That's what we need. Dwight, what does Dwight say? Are you worried about Tay Banks? Heard that he's not turning his head around and committing unforced penalty. He's not turning his head around a lot. And am I concerned yet? No, because it's still it's still training camp. But we talked about this. We talked about this a few minutes ago, Dwight. He's not turning his head. You can see it. He's not looking back for the ball. He's still locking onto the receiver. This is not something you should have to be reteaching in year 3. I think he's a good cover corner guy. I do not think he fits, same with Paulson Adebo, and what Shane Bowen is potentially running. Because I don't know, Shane Bowen could screw us all up. Shane Bowen could become Bill Belichick and run this defense that is totally different than what he did for 5 years in Tennessee and last year in New York. He could be totally different. I don't know yet, because we talked about this, and we talked about this with Carl Banks on Sunday. Is Shane Bowen going to adjust his system to his talent, or is he going to try to force the talent into his system? But the biggest issue is this: is Tay Banks, when he's not looking back, he's not turning his head. You can, I mean, I posted videos. You can literally see it. I think I posted 2 videos where it's like, that's a penalty, Tay. I mean, that's a penalty. He's not looking back at the ball. Towards the end of last week, I wasn't at camp yesterday, but towards the end of last week on certain plays, yes, he was turning his head. He was making the turn. Yes, he was. Which is what you want, what you as a former defensive back, I'm telling you, that's what they always teach you. You always want to be looking back at the ball. Make sure you're in position where your offensive player is that you're covering, but you also need to make sure you're tracking the ball, because not only is it going to help eliminate penalties, it's also going to help you get an interception. The Giants last year were not proficient at getting interceptions. So yeah, that's I am not overly worried, but I am worried. Let's see. Josh Lowell says, Lowell, the timeout during 7-7 almost as bad as scrambling and spending 8 seconds to get pass off during the same passing drill. Yes. Jameis Winston had a bad day that day. Jameis Winston had a bad, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Jameis Winston had a really bad day that same day. Mr. Soul, I don't know if you were out there, but yes, Jameis Winston at one point in time looked like he was going to go have lunch before he threw the ball. So, I mean, and like I said, they literally, you know, it reminded me of high school, because they kept him back. they kept him back after practice. I sat there on the fence and I watched him for a while, and I'm like, wow, he's like a 7-year, 8-year veteran. They're literally keeping him back after practice. It's like, that's not good. But like I said, I think the ultimate goal with Jameis Winston is for him not to be on this team. I think you have to get comfortable enough thinking that you can protect Russell Wilson and keep him upright the majority of the season, and have the likes of Tommy DeVito backing him up, because Russell Wilson is going to be 37 in November. So while he looks proficient in camp right now, like I said, we are, you know, we've said it best on this channel before. In training camp, you kind of reach a point, not where it's not beneficial to have camp, because you always want to get in game shape. You always want to teach the rookies things, but you're going up against the same guys. You start learning tendencies. You start seeing tendencies. You get comfortable going up against the same guys and knowing what they do well and what they don't do well. That's why it's awesome to have joint practices, and the Giants have 2 of them, I believe, and one in Florham Park with the Jets, and then one on August 13th. At the Meadowlands complex, at the Giants complex. So you want to see different players, and you want to get a better idea. I always go back to the last year of Joe Judge, where the Giants were having a phenomenal camp. I don't remember it that way, but they were having a phenomenal camp. And then we did the joint practice against Cleveland. And you saw, and this was when Cleveland was a good team, you saw the difference of competition and the difference of play immediately between Cleveland and the Giants. And I remember seeing the highlights and seeing the film from the camp and going, this is not good. This is not going to be good. And then we saw what happened in that preseason game. So if we want a barometer in reference to how well the Giants are progressing, because the Giants do have young talent on the team. It's not like we don't have young talent. There's young talent on this team. But if you want to see how they are progressing, what we need to do is basically find out immediately how we do against other teams' competition. Now, towards the end, of course, you're going to be going against the Home Depoters, but that's all right. You're still, if you are running guys out there against guys that aren't going to be in the league, you would hope that the guys that you are running out there play better than the people that are either going to be on the practice squad or not even in the league. So you could see the level of play that you're at. That's why I'm saying Jackson Dart has to play 70% of the snaps. I'm going to say this until the cows come home. I think the expression is 70% of the snaps Jackson Dart has to play. And I think it was Jay Ferries that said it earlier. You can't keep this kid in bubble wrap. You can't worry about why is everyone so concerned about him getting hurt? He doesn't have this history of injuries going back to Ole Miss or USC. It's not like he was Michael Penix who had, multiple ACL surgeries. No, this is a kid that you traded up to get. So you have to see what you have. You have to start maturing him. You have to start getting him into a position where he can be proficient at his career. And the best way to do that is in the preseason. Get him his game reps. There's some things that I like about Jackson Dart. Excuse me. And there's some things that I watched in camp that I didn't like about Jackson Dart. And we've showed the videos here before. I was calling him the hop stepper because of the fact that he literally for a while was hopping to make a throw, to get his throw over the line. Do I have it here? Hold on. Let's see if we have it. Well, that's not the play. that's not the play. But you have to just get him the reps. What's up, Trenton? Yo. Eagles defense is looking sharp in camp. Trenton, you've been at camp, Trenton? Because I always like to get reports of other people that if their teams have been at camp. Because I'm always curious. I'm always curious to see how well they perceive their talent to be. But to get a barometer of play I see your comment, Dan. I stole the word barometer. But to get a barometer of play, like I said, I would give Russ the first 2 series. Don't do what you did with Daniel Jones 2 years ago, where the Giants starting offense got 1 series the entire preseason against the Carolina Panthers. No. Teams nowadays are using the first 5 games of the season, 4 or 5 games of the season as preseason. The Giants can't do that. Not with this schedule. The Giants cannot take a look at this schedule and say, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use the first 5 weeks of the season and really consider it preseason. Because you're going Patriots, Cowboys, Chiefs. Where are we? Yeah, we're command. I'm sorry, Patriots is the preseason game. You're going Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints, Eagles. You have a potential to go 0-6 or 1-5. The problem is this: we can look at this, and this is what I keep trying to tell people: don't panic about the schedule yet. Don't panic yet, because of the fact that you look at this schedule. You look at the schedule and you see all these teams and you're like, oh, this is a killer. But the problem is in my opinion, after week 1, it's a crapshoot because you don't know what teams are going to take a step back. You don't know what teams are going to take a step forward. You don't know injuries. So while we look at this schedule, I keep saying this over and over again. Giants must go 3-3 the first 6 weeks. If you do not go 3-3, which means you will take a divisional game, You only have to win. You only have to be one game over 500 to win 9 games. And I still think 9 games takes this division. I know some people are going to say, no, Tim, it's 10, it's 12. But look, because you got to remember, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and Commanders all play the same teams that we do. You think that you wonder, are the Eagles going to suffer from the Super Bowl hangover? Is Jaden Daniels going to take a step back? Is Dak Prescott not going to be Dak Prescott? So take advantage of what you have. Go 3-3. Then you only have to go 6-5 the rest of the season. You could potentially make the playoffs. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know that sounds far-fetched. But if you take a look at the schedule, there's certain teams here, like I said, we don't know what the Cowboys are going to be. We don't know the Commanders are going to take a step back. You pretty much got to understand that Chiefs and Chargers are probably going to be. We don't know what the Eagles are going to be. Is Bo Nix going to be the Bo Nix of year one, or is Bo Nix going to take a step back? It already looks like Caleb Williams is having some problems. We're not sure what Brock Purdy's going to do with the 49ers. I think we can agree that the Packers and the Lions are probably going to be solid. Is Drake May going to improve that offense to go match the Patriot defense? And we don't know what JJ McCarthy is going to be, and we probably think the Raiders are going to be probably pretty bad. So there is an opportunity there, but you can't sit there and use your preseason, use your first 5 games as your preseason when you need to go 3-3. Kevin says, well, with this schedule, shit can get ugly quick. Dan the Man also says, it's sad that we've become a franchise that get used to the barometer against better teams to see where we're at. Yeah, I know that's not good. Beats Bully James says, good morning, gang. Tim loved the Banks episode. The Carl Banks episode, I wasn't really going to talk about it a lot today. But I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it briefly. The Carl Banks episode was a great episode. He told stories that I've never heard, especially the Ray Hanley story. He told certain other stories about the Parcells. And like I said, I've been a Giant fan since 76. You know, I grew up as a Giant fan, so I didn't know the origin of the Parcells guys. You know, he told some LT stories, which was fantastic. And we got into the Giant himself, you know, the Giant team itself, which was great. And we talked, you know, I brought up the fact that, people have said it, and I've said it before, that sometimes he's kind of homerific. But but to his point, he said it very eloquently, what that actually means. So, I mean, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the Carl Banks interview. It was a live stream on Sunday. It's also on the Believe Network, with FanDuel, of course. So make sure you go and check it out. It really was a great episode. And, it's going to be the next guest that comes on. It's going to be tough to top. And I laugh because I'm not going to say who yet, but we have a guest scheduled for next week. I think next week. That's a pretty big guest. Another big name guest. Also, if you missed it, go back and take a look at the Judy Battista interview from New York NFL Network. She's covering the Giants this year. She was a Jet reporter for years. She actually asked the question that sent Herm Edwards over the edge. So make sure you check that one out as well. But like I said, big shout out to Carl Banks. He stayed longer than I thought. I didn't think he was going to stay for over 2 hours. And like I said, he actually was very gracious. He came on. He took questions. We had people on screen with him to ask their questions during Carl Banks. So it was a great interview. Y'all should be able to beat the Chargers. I don't know if we're going to beat the Chargers yet. Trent says the Giants are a sleeper wild card team, but everyone knows my birds rule the roost. I'm telling you right now, guys, if you take a look at all the schedules, all the factors, 9 wins might take this division. Because you're going to have teams that are Zach Attack. What's up? You're going to have teams that are going to cancel. You have 4 teams that could potentially cancel themselves out because they're in the same division. And Lord knows when certain teams are going to catch other teams hot or not.
That's what she said.
So you have to You have to fight at least every single game. And you have to understand, like I said, these first 6, you go 3-3, you just have to go 6-5. And think about it. I think you could take the Commanders. I don't think we're going to, but I think this is my thought process. You lose to the Commanders, you beat the Cowboys, you lose to the Chiefs, you take the Chargers, you beat the Saints, you lose to the Eagles. There you go. By October 9th, you're 3-3. And what you did is you are now you're 1-2 in your division, but you have a divisional win. And last year we did not have divisional wins. Now the problem is if you lose that Eagle game on that October 9th game, that is a home game. So you have to do as much as you possibly can not to lose the game. Dan the Man says Ray Handley embroiled someone who got shoved in a locker. That story proved it. Oh, the Ray Handley story. If you didn't hear it, there was, and Carl, of course, told it better, but evidently it was the Arizona game, Ray Handley's first season, and Carl Banks is having back spasms. So it was halftime, and he was going to go into the training room to get treatment, and Ray Handley grabbed him from behind. Now remember, this is a guy having back spasm, grabbed him from behind and told him to get into the meeting room. So evidently Carl grabbed him by the throat and pinned him up against the locker. And Carl told the story, and that even LT was like, yo, and now you got to remember Lawrence Taylor. Even LT was like, man, you can't do that to the head coach. And Carl thought he was going to get waived the next day. I asked him directly, did you think that Ray Handley was a good hire or a bad hire? He's like, I hated it. He's like, I thought it was terrible. So that was a great story. Mr. Chaz says Jackson Dart revived the Odell boat cursed. No. He's fine. Zach Attack, what's up? Zach Attack says, I need the Giants to split with Philly. Of course, that is because of Zach Attack's girlfriend, who happens to be a Philly fan. Zach, if you're heading down to hit the like button. If you're heading down to that marriage road, I don't know, man. That seems like a cause for divorce almost immediately. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. Like button, hit, push now, please. Why? Because I don't know. Just do it. Beat Bully. What do we got here? It says Beat Bully James says, me too, Zach. I am SJ, and these Bird fans are killing me. Yeah, Zach attacking this girl. Zach, how are you doing, man? How's work? You doing good with work? Haven't heard from you in a while. I was worried about you. But what we need to do is we need to focus. Dave, married to a Philly fan? I would rather marry an ex-murderer. No, he's not married to a Philly fan yet. Zach Attack's dating. His girlfriend is a Philadelphia Eagle fan. Not married yet. They're dating. So I'm just saying that if you know, that could be a cause for divorce years down the road, especially when Philadelphia sucks and the Giants are rocking and rolling again. But what I want to see versus Buffalo, I want to see a rhythm offense. I should rephrase that. I want to see an offense in rhythm, because there's a difference between a rhythm offense and an offense in rhythm. I want to see us getting to the line. I want to see the play called. I want to see quick execution. I want to see his 3-step drop. I don't want, because I keep telling people, Russell Wilson's 37 in November. The odds of a 37-year-old quarterback outside of the likes of Tom Brady playing a 16-game or 17-game season is not great, especially when you still have outside of Bo. And I know everyone's up on Chris Hubbard, but we got to wait and see what Chris Hubbard is, because Chris Hubbard is a journey. And we brought a lot of guys in that are very proficient at pass blocking, even going back to John Runyon Jr., whose pass blocking grade is higher than his run blocking grade, which I always find astounding to me, because when you are run blocking, you are on the attack. You are going forward. You are making contact. You are driving. When you are pass blocking, you're on your heels, you're going back, you're protecting. And I just find it interesting that our line has guys that are better at pass blocking than they are at run blocking, so we're not seeing the road pavers. But what I want to see is an offense in rhythm. I don't want to see this disjointed crap that we have seen. A lot of people point out we want to see something proficient like the Indianapolis game. Okay, well, statistically, fun fact, Indianapolis missed 14 tackles that game. Indianapolis was second in the league in regards to missed tackles. Indianapolis defense was putrid. Yes, they had something to play for, which was they were still in contention for the playoffs, but they had a god-awful defense who could not tackle. They missed 14 tackles in that game. 14. A lot of the big plays from Neighbors and a few other ones here and there came off the missed tackle. So I'm not going to use that game as a outlier of what the Giants offense should look like. I really don't think I want to take any game from 2024 and say this is what the Giant offense should look like. But I want to see an offense in rhythm. I want to see getting out of the huddle quickly. I want to see getting to the line quickly. I want to see making the adjustments. I want to see them be proficient in running plays. And I know it sounds simplistic, but I want to see them proficiently move the offense. And it doesn't have to be on a big play. It doesn't have to be on a big hit. It doesn't have to be on a big run. But, even if you sit there and you are matriculating the ball down the field and you're getting 4 or 5 yard gains on a pop and you score, that's what the Giant offense needs to do. Russell Wilson, yes, the moon ball was wonderful. Don't get me wrong. The moon ball is a thing of beauty. Russell Wilson's got what Russell Wilson. And I love it because people showed me that clip and they go, "That's Russell Wilson. That's see that look. He got around these guys." No, he would have gotten killed probably about 4 yards down the field because you can't tackle the quarterback because he's wearing a red jersey. So, but what I want to see is them, like I said, them getting out of the huddle quickly, getting to the line, not wasting a lot of time, moving the ball proficiently. Like I said, it doesn't have to be these big 50-yard plays. The moon ball would be nice, but I just want to see a consistent offense that can get the ball down the field and put it in the end zone. Like I said, you were tied for 16th in time of possession last year. The Giants were. They were tied for 16th, but they were 31st in points. They had 16 points. That's a problem. We're going to talk about the defense in a minute, but that is a problem. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. There's 50-something people in the thing, and there's nobody. There's like 14 likes. That's not good. Hit the like button, please. Don't make me ask you again. Let's see here. Jack Attack said, what does Jack Attack say? Russ might cook with Neighbors. There's an outside chance. No, he will. Zach Attack, I told her I'm loyal to Giants. I'm loyal to her since she's a hell of a lot better. Then the man says what Neighbors did with that slap when he last year's at the center, I have no doubt. What I'm hoping is Russ can unlock Slayton and Wandell, and dare I gulp Hyatt. Was that a really quiet camp? Darius Slayton. Who's had a better camp, but is still having issues? Jalen Hyatt. And Wandell Robinson. Can we stop, for the love of God, stop trying to make him a downfield threat? I posted at least 3 or 4 interceptions that I posted from Giant Camp. And the one is when Dane Belton, of all people, just stepped right in front. And it was a Jackson Dart throw. He stepped right in front of Wandell Robinson and just took it away from him and just would have taken it to the house. But can we just stop with that? Let's let Wandell Robinson be what he is. He is not a downfield receiver. He's a slot guy. He's 4 or 5 yards off the line, and you hope he can break a tackle. That's all. That's what he is. And Darius Slayton, to me, has had a quiet camp. It doesn't mean anything because Darius Slayton is a veteran, but you did give him the 3-year, $36 million contract, so you have to wait and see something. But and Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt, Jalen's staying at the Hyatt. Russ had a nice pass to Hyatt for a touchdown the other day, and you can see now. One of the things that I've always said about Jalen Hyatt, and this was something I like Jalen Hyatt coming out of Tennessee. He performed well when Hendon Hooker was there. He performed well when Hooker went down and Joe Milton came in. I thought he was going to be that Devontae Smith speed guy on the Giants. I really did. I said before, if they took him in the second round, I would have been happy. And where they took him, I was even more ecstatic. But he just has this, and I don't know if gaining weight was going to help with this, but he has had this issue. And I figure with a guy with his speed and quickness, he's had this issue getting off the line and into his route. He's had this issue. He does not get into his route quickly enough. And he does not get off the line quickly enough. Now, you watch him in camp, and it was funny because I think it was Banks and a few other players were actually working with him when camp was over in reference to hand checking, getting off the line, and getting into his route. And there was a couple days he did this. So I think they understand what the issue is with Jalen Hyatt, because I think he has the ability to run crisp, clean routes. I think he's definitely got the speed. He has to work on his catch percentage. His catch percentage of catchable balls last year was only 40%, which means he only caught the ball 40% of the time. The ball was catchable and thrown to him. But the issue is, I thought with his build and his frame that he was going to be more Devontae Smith-esque and use his speed and quickness to get around defensive backs and get into his route quickly. Because we blame Daniel Jones a lot. And I blame Daniel Jones for everything. I mean, still in this house, if the dishwasher breaks, it's Daniel Jones' fault. The guys came out and redid the driveway, and there's a big streak in the middle of the driveway. That was Daniel Jones' fault. But we blame Daniel Jones for not getting Jalen Hyatt the ball enough. Well, the problem is this. If you're waiting for the play to develop and you have a receiver that's slow to get into his routes and it's a deep pattern, that's going to happen. So we have to see if he can finally use his speed and his quickness and get into his routes and run a clean route. And hopefully he'll get a catchable ball from Russell Wilson and he'll improve. Do I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard wide receiver? No. Do I think he could be a 30-catch guy, 35-catch guy, yard guy, and maybe 500 yards? Sure. Should he at least have 3 touchdowns? Yeah. But we have to wait and see. Zag says we need a 2020 offensive game plan. Yeah, we do. We do. Kevin says, I want to see more jet sweeps with neighbors. I can't see you. I understand, Kevin. I understand why you want to see more jet sweeps with neighbors. I understand that because of the fact that you are trying to put him in a position where he can get into the open field and make a play. And you're trying to do it where you're eliminating the equation of throwing him the ball. I get that. I get it. But you're also putting him behind the line of scrimmage with more of an opportunity to take the big hit as a runner, as a backfield runner. So it's a kind of a catch-22. Big blue for life, my brother, coming in. 8-10 wins, Tim. 8-10 wins. You know I love you, man. I don't see it. Like I said, if you want to make the playoffs, you got to go 3. You got to go 3-3 in the first 6. Then you'll have to go 6-5. I still see this as a 6-win team, even with Russell Wilson. And you hope you're wrong. I have to check. Should we check the FanDuel odds? Can someone go over to FanDuel, check the odds, and see what the Giants are for winning 8-10 games this year? But it's. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens with the Commanders. Jay says, Tim, this is getting close to for Jerry Jones kids to have tough conversations with him. He sounds and acts more ridiculous every year. Yeah, Jerry Jones is just kind of Jerry Jones has always been a nut, even after what he did to Jimmy Johnson and bringing in what's his name? Barry Switzer. So he's always been a nut. Kareem, what's going on, my brother? It must be lunchtime. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good, man. Dan the Man says, outside of an overachieving 2022, finishing fifth, we finished in the bottom in the red zone efficiently every year, in most cases, bottom quarter. Yes, and that's like I said, if you take a look at the Giants offense, you take a look at the yards over the last couple of years, if you fully examine this, and like I said, not just saying that, well, the Giants offense is never on the field, that's why they're so terrible. Well, like we said, last year they were tied for 16th in the league in time of possession and offense. The problem is the game isn't just played between the 20s. You get to the 20 on the other side, you need to score points, and scoring 16 points, 31st in the league last year, just doesn't cut it. So you have to figure, and I don't care if you run the fucking Statue of Liberty play. Put the ball in the end zone. Do something. I don't care what you do. Just do something. Every year since 2015 says Dan the Man. You're right. Dan Jay Ferris says, Dan the Man. You and me don't get invited to parties much. Oh, yeah, you do. Dan's awesome. I love Dan. Blackbird's back. Oh, I believe in the Scataboo. I believe in Scataboo as well. But there's always a caveat. And ask me. Ask me. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to read that comment and question. But I believe in Scataboo a lot. I do. I shouldn't say I believe in a lot. I believe in him more than I did when we drafted him. I knew he was proficient at receiving, at catching the ball out of the backfield. I knew that. Because he didn't do it as much as he probably should have at Arizona State, but you could see that. As an between the tackle runner, I don't know yet. We've seen some bursts of speed on the outside to get off the edge, but we've also seen that without the ability to tackle. So I don't know yet. But this is a guy that I think can get into that second level as a receiver. Because like I said, he's made some Cam Scataboo has made some ridiculous catches in camp. And you hope that continues through going into the season. The problem is you probably want Tyrone Tracy more in the receiving backfield on third downs than you do Cam Scataboo, because Tyrone Tracy's has that breakaway speed and can take it to the house. I don't think he's as slow as Wayne Gallman, but there's certain things when I look at a Cam Scataboo that I kind of say, I think he's going to have some trouble once he gets into that second level. As me said, the Giants are going 4-13 next year, and I will hear no arguments on that matter. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to have to argue. They're not going 4-13 this year. I'm going to argue. 9 wins. I think the Giant top total, 9 wins. And like I said, that's if you go 3-3 in your first 6. And then, like I said, all you have to do is go 6. Just think about that for a second. You only have to go 9. I still think 9 wins takes the division. You only have to go 9-8. So you just one game over 500. You could be 7-7 going into week 15 and still have to just get 3 wins. I'm telling you. Blackbird McKnight says the Giants couldn't score last season. That was the problem. The first game against Dallas. Oh, I don't want to talk about the first game. I hate talking about the Dallas games. But you're right. You're not going to score. You couldn't score. The idea that you subtracted Saquon Barkley away from this offense and it was going to get better was delusional at best.
Let's see. Chicago's driving up the price and Philly's out.
That was delusional at best. And you never really replaced his production. And I'm not talking about the 2,000 plus yards in Philly. I'm just talking about the average Saquon Barkley season. And Saquon Barkley was a threat. That's the thing. Barkley was a threat. And he was a threat to take the ball to the house every single time. So that's kind of what we lost. What's up, Mr. Sanders? What's up, Tim? Hoping that it's time that the white cat runs across the field this year. Yeah, we got to stop with the black cat running across the field. Every time the black cat runs across this field, we get fucked.
That's what she said.
I'm hoping that. I may bring a white cat into the stadium that first home game. I may just sneak it in and just throw it on the field. And for those that are out there that may be part of PETA, I'm joking. I got enough problems. Blackbird says, stop smoking crack, my brother.
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Where can we find Roy? Roy, what's up, Roy? Peace. Chat from Indian Land, South Carolina. Cam Scatterby reminds me of Darren McFadden. The Don't Worry, Be Happy guy?
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for a note. Don't worry. It's Darren McFadden of the Raiders and the Cowboys in Arkansas.
I know who you're talking about. Does he remind me of Darren McFadden? I'm going to have to say no. McFadden was a guy who had speed. McFadden in his career, I know he's had runs over 70 yards or 70 yards. I know he's had a bunch of runs over 50 and 60 yards. Darren McFadden was a guy with size. He was 6'1", 220 pounds, and he has speed. That doesn't remind me of Cam Scatterby. That Darren McFadden does not remind me of Cam Scatterby whatsoever. Jay McFerrin says, Tim, the 2022 draft is a contract extension eligible. 2023, the draft is a disaster. Would we be trying to sign any more 2022 players to get a deal like the trends in the NFL starting to be? No. Let's be honest about the Giants 2022 draft. Let's just be honest about it. No. I mean, I wish, you gave Kayvon Thibodeau that 5th-year option. You didn't give it to Evan Neal. Wan'Dale Robinson is what he is. Joshua Azuda will probably be gone. Cordell Flott will probably be gone. Daniel Bellinger will probably be gone. Dane Belton will probably be gone. DJ Davidson will probably be gone. McKeithen's already gone. Beavers is already gone. The only person that you may want to give an extension to is McFadden, but I think that giving McFadden as an extension is out of a dearth at the linebacker position. So no, I am not. I'm not. Yeah, of course we know you, that Blackbird. Tim, Trey, what makes you think the Eagles will finish with less than 10 wins? Okay, Trenton. Look at the records over the last 20 years of teams that have won the Super Bowl 1 year and then their next year record. Just do that. Google that. Google 20 NFL teams, 20 years, wins a Super Bowl record next season. Just Google that. Google that. We'll wait and come back. Blackbird says, one touchdown. We've won. One TD wouldn't have won us that first Dallas game. No, it wouldn't have. 50 people watching and 10 likes. Press the like button, people. People who need people like the button, people. We got 24 likes. There's 24 likes. We got up to 50, then I'll be happy today. If we get up to 50, Mr. Sanders is just having a good time. Denman says, I was at my sister's wedding when we snapped the 8th-game losing streak against the Philadelphia Eagles in 2020. We lost 8 games to Dallas, and I'll be a baseball game that day. Oh, this is a good thing. I didn't know about this. Azeez Ojulari update. He's getting beat out by Joshua Ulster. Who's that? Former Patriot Ed Rusher. Well, good. He's your fucking problem now. Blackbird also says, team used to load the box up against Saquon when he was there, while a certain game he wasn't affected. Okay. You go back to the Giants playoff season Daboll's first year. We talked about it. 7-2, 2-5-1. And Blackbird brings up an excellent point. What was the difference between the 7-2 start and the 2-5-1 finish? What was the difference? And you take a look at Saquon Barkley's yards per average, because you are right. All teams did that season at the end was stack the box and forced the Giants to throw. And we know our quarterback only threw for 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Yes, of course, he ran for 600 yards. Always have to hear about that. But you forced Daniel Jones to beat you. And when teams did that, we went from 7-2 to 2-5-1. But he ran high. Oh, McFadden. It's funny that you beat Bully James. You bring up McFadden running high. One of the issues with Cam Scatteraboo is he runs high. And he's in camp. I've noticed that he is leaning forward more. He's crouching a little bit more. He's not running as upright. I always use Ethan Horton out of North Carolina back in the 80s. I think 80s, late 90s. I can't remember, early 90s. I can't remember. Ethan Horton was a big back coming out of North Carolina. Ran for had a couple 1,000-yard seasons at North Carolina. Went in the first round to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I remember this clearly, even reading the Street and Smith draft books and everything else. Everyone said he ran high. Well, his career as a running back, it lasted like one season in the NFL. He became a tight end. He became a pretty proficient tight end with the Raiders. But he was the poster child of running high. Does Cam Scatteraboo run that high? No. Does he have a tendency of staying too upright? Yes, which led to 10 fumbles in the latter half of his career at Arizona State. So, like I said, but that's coachable. And Darren McFadden still had 2,000-yard seasons, so it's not like running high is gonna, it's a coachable thing. Yeah, Darren McFadden was a solid back. Let's sign Keenan Allen. No, I'm not gonna bring another wide receiver yet. I got to see what I have. We got a bunch of young kids that have played well. Washington's played well. You got some young kids that have shown some stuff in camp. Can they be the 4th, 5th wide receiver? I don't know, because they also have to play special teams. That's like, we haven't given out the David Sills Award in the last year. David Sills' biggest issue, besides the fact that he wasn't good, was because of the fact he couldn't make the roster because he didn't play special teams. And that's what we have to wait and see. You can't bring in Keenan Allen because Jalen Hyatt's not going to play special teams. Wanda Robinson's not going to play special teams. Darius Slayton's not playing special teams. Malik Neighbors isn't playing special teams. So the 5th guy has got to be a special teamer. He's got to be that's why we brought back Gunner. Gunner can at least be a gunner and return punts. So that's why Gunner Olszewski is back. Jay says, so Tim, you're saying we are striking out on the 2 years of players we drafted, not one contract extension. Wow. Yeah. I'm saying it before, and I've said this a million times. The 2022 New York Giant draft next year could potentially, outside of McFadden, have no one on the roster. Joe Shane's first 2 drafts were abysmal. We have gone through this, and I don't want to keep going through it, but we have gone through this a million times. His first 2 drafts. Beavers is gone. McKeithen is gone. DJ Davidson is probably going to be gone. McFadden, you might extend. Dane Bellinger, to me, is going to be gone. Let's see. Dane Belton's probably going to be gone. Cordell Flott should be gone. Jonathan Azuda is terrible. Wanda Robinson had the quietest 90-yard reception that you've ever seen in an entire NFL season. Evan Neal could be gone, and Kayvon Thibodeau might be traded. Owen's gone. Riley is nothing. Trey Hawkins has shown nothing in 3 years outside of one game. Eric Gray should be cut. Jalen Hyatt if he doesn't turn around, is going to be cut. JMS, if he doesn't figure it out, is going to be cut. And Deonte Banks is having problems. So you could potentially have What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Out of his first 18 players drafted, there potentially could be only 2 guys on this team next year. The Eagles will have a Super Bowl hangover. I kind of think they will. Dallas or Philadelphia will take the division. Let's see here. Chiefs won back-to-back Super Bowls with an inferior roster, and the Eagles have played in 2 in the last 2 seasons. What happened after that? What was the Eagles' record after that Super Bowl loss? Blackbird also says the difference with teams who are loading the box against Saquon. That's why we finished 2-5-1. The Giants were a run-first team that year. They were. You were a run-first team so much to the point that you had one point in time when everyone got hurt, you had Saquon Barkley as your quarterback in the Bears game. So just throwing that out there. What's up, Chud? White Cat Mania. Charlie. White Cat Mania. I'm taking Charlie. Charlie, I'm literally thinking about sneaking a white cat into the first game. Could it be a seeing eye cat, which is why I have to have it, or could it be a what you call a cat? Not a comfort cat. The cat you need for when you have to have a service animal. Like that. What is that called? we need a service animal, not like a comfort animal. Could it be that? And I'll sneak one in. What is a service animal? Let me see. Can I bring in a service animal? Let me see. Can I bring? Because then you know what? I can do that. Not now. Let's see. If I could bring in a service dog, maybe I can bring in a service cat. Emotional support animal. Let's see. So maybe I could bring in a cat as an emotional support animal, a white one, and throw it on the field. I would do it. I have never been in the holding cells at MetLife. They would probably actually take me to real jail, though. 3 strikes and you're out. I don't know if that's a felony, though. I don't know if that's a felony. Just remember, an indictment is not a conviction. Dan the Man says, Jay Ferry's the hope of the best for the Eagles. Hangover in the Madden curse being revived. The Sills Army. I missed the David Sills Army. Zach Attack reminded me of it. When did Zach Attack reminded me of it the other day when he was like, yeah, you haven't given out the David Sills Camp Award yet in the last 2 years. And I keep forgetting. I'm like, damn, I forgot. I haven't given out the David Sills Award for the most overrated camp player that's never going to break the team or play in the NFL. Damn, David Skills had skills at wide receiver, just no separation. Zach Attack will tell you that when he played in college, he played in a pass-happy division. So Zach Attack tells me all about David Sills. He was right. Zach Attack was right about David Sills. Come on, guys. We need to get to at least 30 likes. We're at 26. Let's get to 30. Let's get to 30. Come on. We can do it. You can do it. Who's texting me now? Hazard air quality. Smoke from Canadian wildfires are blanketing the region will continue to lead to unhealthy air quality. Well, that's not fucking good. Well, that's not good. It's funny. No wonder I've been very. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've had this thing in my. I don't know. I gotta talk about it. What does those numbers mean with a crown? What does those numbers mean with a crown? What numbers? What numbers with a crown? What are we talking about? I'm lost. Jay Ferris is Blackbird. For me, it means I'm talking too much when I get there. Trent says 6 and 11. An emotional support cat. I love it. That's right. All right. Starting this Sunday, we're going to have a big guest on Sunday, I think. We're going to have a big guest on Sunday. Because, that's just what we do now. We have big guests all the time. I don't want to brag. Yeah, I was talking to Lawrence Taylor the other day, and I said, LT, man, listen, bro. Carl was on. You might as well just come on and make an appearance. Just do it down there. So LT turned around and said, "You fucking stop calling me. Who the hell are you?" But an emotional support cat. That's what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking we do. Starting next Sunday, because I'm going to need bail for the home opener. I bring the white cat and I'll drop it on the field from the coaches club. I'm not going to drop it on the field from mid-level. So I'll drop it on the field from the coaches club. When they arrest me, I'll already have bail ready, but I will erase the Black Cat Syndrome, the boat trip, the Miracle in the Meadowlands, the Deshaun Jackson punt return. I will erase all of that, and I will bring the Giants back anew into the season, and we'll make the playoffs. I like it. Of course, I'm retired, so I can spend some time in jail. It's okay. Roy says, I'm a disabled veteran. I'll help you with that. Great, Roy. Blame Canada. I'm going to blame Canada. I like it. Big Bully James. Yeah, I like it, guys. I'm thinking of doing it. Here's the question, though. Does it have to be? This is the question, guys. Okay, you guys are smart. I'm going to ask this. Got to ask this. Does it have to be during the home game, the home opener, or can I do it during preseason? Because I probably get in less trouble if I do it against the Patriots. Second of all, my question is, where do I get a cat? Where do I get a cat? Where do we get a cat? And where do I get a white cat? Guys, I am excited about this. I am excited about this, that we are going, this could finally lead to the New York Football Giants finding the promised land and moving into a different direction. So all we need, we got this. All we need is bail money and a cat. Now, does anyone know where we can get a cat? Do I go to the SPCA? Will they get mad at me that I'm going to take a cat and throw it on the field? Do I not tell them we're taking a cat and throwing it on the field? I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm excited about this plan. This is probably one of the dumbest plans that I've ever come up with, or we've ever come up with on this channel, outside of buying the when we wanted to buy the boat from the boat trip and burn it. But I'm excited about this plan. I'm excited about it. What do we think? This is okay. This is it. We're going to do this. We are doing this. We are going to find Mr. Whiskers. We are going to take Mr. Whiskers, the white cat, and we're going to throw him across the field. And that's it. That's all we need. And the Giants will solidify themselves into playoff consideration. Oh, yeah, we're in some serious trouble. The benching of Eli Manning, too. I got to erase that curse. I am taking my IT certificate exam on Friday. Well, good luck on that, Blackbird. I hope you do well. I know you'll do well. Adopt a cat for a day. Is there a place that you can adopt a cat for a day? Is there a place? I mean, I don't. First of all, my wife's allergic to cats, so I don't want to bring the cat back. So my question is going to be: is there a place I can get a cat? Does anyone have? You know what? This is a better thing. We start. Does anyone have a white cat? Because I'm not superstitious.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
No, I can't adopt a cat. Look, Operation White Cat. I like it. It's like Operation White Castle. Hide the cat in your pants.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. There you go. Do it. Okay, I'm doing it. Russ has never lost at MetLife. Yes, and he's also won the Super Bowl there. Didn't he already lost? Yeah, I know, whatever. All right, Dan, we're on Catgate. And you want to talk about Russell Wilson? This is more important. The cat is more important. That face right there could save the entire New York Giants season. And you want to talk about Russell Wilson? Screw Russell Wilson's record in MetLife. The cat is undefeated in MetLife. Thank you all. I'll give you a cat for a Super Bowl ring sound. Fair exchange. The question is, do I want to go to jail? That's kind of the question of the year. Do I want to go to jail do I want to go to jail to have the Giants excel in 2025? That's going to be a time for another stream. All right, guys, it is, I don't know what time it is. It is 12:23. White cat shirts. No, I don't think white cat. Yeah, ask me. Did you say that? I did that while I was talking. I pulled the cat off the internet and then I went in my other thingy over here and I clipped it out. Yeah, it's professionalism. That's why we get the likes of Carl Banks, because we are such a serious show. Just someone needs to figure out how the fuck we can get a cat. It has to be a service cat too, though. There's a lot. I'm gonna have to work on this project. And that's a good question. That is a good question, though, about the cat shirts. Charlie's got a good question. Charlie, okay. Okay. Would this work? And then I really got to go at 12:30. Would this work? Let's think about this for a minute. If I can't get a real cat, if I get a white cat shirt and I run on the field, does that still count as breaking the hex? So think about this. I actually have an inside man. I don't think he would want to lose his job. But would a white cat shirt work? Can we think about that? If I wear it, well, who's the Giants report? I don't know who you are. The Giants report. I don't know who Giants report is. Why are they following me? Don't follow me on Twitter. Leave me alone. Don't follow me. I don't like when people follow me on Twitter. Go away. Okay. Equals 11. I like this. I like this idea. I said it for a reason, Tim, but I'll let everyone know. Let's figure it out. Great stream, Tim. Make Tim can create a white cat day at Maple. I'm thinking about this, but does this count, guys? I want someone just to give me a nay or a yay or a nay. I wear a white cat shirt. I get a black shirt. Let's just say I get a black shirt with a white cat on it, because I think that would be more. I think that would stand out more. And I wear it and I run on the field. What does that count? Does that count as breaking the hex instead of throwing the cat on the field? I think it does. I think it does. I'm looking right now, because we're gonna get in trouble with the SPCA if I use a real cat. I already know that. I already know I already know there's gonna be someone else that's not happy with me. was going to be the SPCA. And I got enough problems with people not being happy with me. So I'm thinking about it. I think it works. I'm good with it. There we go. Beat Bully James says he'll take it. Charlie votes yes. All right. I'm going to have to do some wind sprints. I'm going to have to get ready. I got to get in better shape. I got to do some sprints. I got to at least be able to run a 50-yard dash. The problem is I don't think I can get over the fucking fence. The fence on the sideline, it's kind of high. So I don't know if I can get over it. Someone's going to have to open the gate for me. These are the things that we need to think about as Giant fans. We need to help this team as much as we possibly can in 2025. So if I have to wear a cat shirt, run onto the field, and then break the hex, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Can't wait to see. Yeah, I might be seeing him from the jail cell. Can't wait to see the Giants-Chief game at home. All right, so we didn't hit 30 likes, but I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I used to care. I don't care anymore. I'm too tired. Too tired to care. Let's say, hey, Tim, sorry, just getting here. We have heard anything from Chauncey Golston. Feels like he was a bigger depth signing than, we really haven't heard a lot from Chauncey, to be honest. There's some players that have been depth signings for this team, especially on defense, that you haven't heard a lot of. The problem is when you go on Twitter, and I'm guilty of this as well, when you go on Twitter, you're posting more of the highlights from the starters, and you're posting the information from the big name guys. But there have been some ancillary signings for the Giants, especially even on defense, that we really haven't talked about it. Like the video, you goof. Yeah, like the video. Like it. If you don't like it, then I don't stay in the analytics. You don't stay in the analytics, and then we don't get guests like Carl Banks. We get guests like Carl Sagan, and he's dead, so that's a bad guest. Emotional support animal, Big Blue for life. I think you should be there. You have gotten in shape. You should be there. For the cat run. The New York Giants 2025 cat run. Oh my God. I got it. We are going to. I got it. Then I'm out of here. Hold on. I got it. I literally just figured it out. There, we're going to keep the cat up there because I now have a name for it. Here we go. Are we ready? Here we go. Ticker. It's going to be called Reverse the Curse, the Giants 2025 Cat Run. This is how we are going to win in 2025. Oh, now I'm at 33 likes. I'm gonna unlike so I can go under. But it's gonna be called Reverse the Curse, the Giants 2025 Cat Run. I am excited about this plan. There we go. It's awesome. Beat Bully James thinks it's awesome. Reverse the Curse, the Giants 2025 Cat Run. I didn't want to write white cat run because I didn't want to sound racist. And I'm going to still work on that Carl Sagan interview. I have a Ouija board. We should be all right. Someone said to me the other day, you know what I love about you? And I always love that question because I'm always like, what? They go, sometimes you just deliver things with such a deadpan face. Oh my God, 100%. We're all going to jail. But you know what? It doesn't matter if we all go to jail. It doesn't matter if the Giants win. Does it matter if the Giants win if we all go to jail? Dan says, I'm in tears over that, Tim. The Giant 2025 cat run. I want everyone to go on Twitter if you have a Twitter account right now. If you have a Twitter account right now, go on Twitter, screenshot this. First, screenshot this and wait till it's in the middle. And post it. Here. Wait, I'll be on this. And say the Giants reverse the curse. Reverse curse the Giants 25-5 cat run. See, now you can have me in the shot as well. I am excited about this. I'm excited about FanDuel. I'm excited about the cat run. I'm excited about going to Buffalo. I'm not really excited about going to Buffalo, to be honest. To be 100% honest, I'm not really excited about going to Buffalo. I'd rather just go to games. No, the Sagan comment. Oh yeah, one comment. Yeah, well, I can't bring Carl Sagan because he is dead. A last little bit of news, and I'm out of here, guys. And thank you for getting me to 33 likes and 40 people watching still, and the other X amount of people watching on the X place. We are going to do the subscriber. Or I don't like calling it subscriber. I feel like we're all friends here, except for Trenton. He's an asshole, and I love Trenton. He's an Eagles fan. And Trenton, you could join this too. We're gonna do the subscriber coaches club day one more time. So you get to go to the coaches club. We got 4 tickets. You get to go to 3. We're gonna take 3 subscribers to the coaches club. It's gonna be the it's gonna be the Patriots game. So Big Greg, what's up? Get him. What's up, Big Greg? So we're gonna do the coaches club. I'm sorry, I was just laughing. Ask me, I'm just laughing. I said, fuck, man. You got me confused. I forgot where I was. Happy birthday, Greg. Happy birthday to Greg. Greg, I already got you a birthday present. It's just being sent to you by Carl Banks. And I could say this because this was posted on Twitter or posted on X. So Greg was one of the people that was on the Sunday stream with Carl Banks. We had like 7 or 8 people that came on and asked Carl questions. And James, my brother Williams, was just on the screen with me the whole time. But Greg came in and asked the questions. So Carl posted on Twitter that he wanted Greg's address so he could send him some of the new starter shirts that they have for Giants training camp, which I thought was phenomenal. Which I was like, that is awesome. So I actually reached out to Greg and I got Greg's address. I actually think I already had your address, but I wanted to make sure. I wanted to check with Greg before I gave it to Carl Banks, and I sent it over to Carl Banks and said, here you go. And he's like, great, that's perfect. So you got a present, Greg. Besides hanging out with me and being able to text me directly, that's a gift in its own. You and I don't buy that. But all right, we're good. I don't know how many likes we're at. Doesn't really matter. We're at 32. I thought we were at 33. Who lied? Blackbird, did you lie? Who took away their like? All right, that's it. We're not going until we get one more. There's still 42 people left. We need one more. I'm not going. Moet says we should get a t-shirt made to wear them at one of the games together. I'll do that. Moet, when you go into a game, I'll do that. I will make 50 shirts and hand them out if I have to. Because I am ready for the Giants to win. It is going to be reverse the curse. The Giants 2020. Oh, you know what? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I've just thought of this. Hold on. This needs to be fixed because it could be any Giants. It could be the little Giants. It could be the San Francisco Giants. So we need to change that. We have to have it reverse the curse, the New York Giants 2025 cat run. Well, wait, you know what? We screwed that up too. Damn it. We have to make sure we cover all caveats here. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Now it's reverse the curse, the New York Giants 2025-2026 cat run. Boom. I know I'll just be like this. Me and the cat. Hey, take a screenshot. Here we go. Wait, hold on again. Yeah, I took a screenshot. Oh my God. Has the season started yet? For the love of God. Has the season started yet? Now I can't get back to the screen because now everything's all screwed up. Now I can't get back to the screen. Get out of there, screenshot. I can't get back to the screen. I can't turn anything off. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm tired. And the air, evidently there's poor air quality. Greg says, thanks, Tim. Let's see. Tim, you should make I was right about DJ shirts. You know what? Why did you have to bring that up? Why did you get to bring that up? I was right about DJ. I was right about Daniel Jones. I was right about Daniel Jones and his contract for years. I was right about Daniel Jones from the time I put out that first video at the end of his rookie season explaining all the things that he did poorly and never improved upon, but I was a DJ hater. And I was goofy for not supporting him. But I was a DJ hater. But no one ever came back to apologize. No one ever came back and said, what is this? What is this picture? Joe Shing talking. What is this? What is that picture of? I don't know what that picture is. Oh, that was a good cover. I don't know why I had that there, but that's a good. We can delete that. That was a good screenshot. I don't know what that was though. We can delete that though. But no one ever came back. No one ever came back to apologize when they re-signed Daniel Jones for $1 billion so he can play here till he was 80. No one ever said they were sorry. Jay Hurd says, anyone following the DJ Anthony campaign? What a bunch of it sucks. Happy birthday, Greg. My birthday is tomorrow too. Oh, happy Moet Olson. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Moet Olson. Happy birthday also to Big Greg. What's up, Joey? Joey says, I'm so excited for this Sunday. Let's go New York Giants beat. It's a Saturday game, Joey. Joey, listen, I'll help you out here, Joey. Unless you're gonna DVR it. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's not Friday. I don't want you on the Sunday stream, Joey, going, damn, I can't wait till the game today. And we're all gonna be like, Joey, we won by 40 because of the reverse the curse, the New York Giants 2025-2026 cat run. Did I get my 33 likes? Lunch. Oh, I got to go have lunch. Oh, I got 36 likes. All right, guys, I got to go have lunch. I heard DJ year 7 can't beat it. It's just, we're not going to talk with DJ, but guys, I got to go eat lunch. I want to thank everyone for hanging out as long as they did. Like I said, this was kind of a last minute. What's the last comment of the day? Asby says, I hate DJ too. So much confidence for so little talent. So much more confidence in the fan base. You're welcome, Jay. It was a fun show. This was a last minute thing. I just kind of wanted to jump on the mic. But guys, don't forget Sunday stream is going to be a big one. We're also going to be in Buffalo, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I might be tired on Sunday, but you know what? It's always fun. So again, this is Tim on the Believe Network. Of course, we also have to have FanDuel come in as well. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm out of here.